Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos.
He was the most grotesque creature, the arch-vampire. Dracula. Count Dracula.
Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos. Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos.
The Nutcracker's War has left the inhabitants of Planet Christmas hopeless and desperate for heroes. Dozens of provinces and villages have been taken over by General Almond and his evil soldiers who aim to rule the planet and capture all the Christmas spirit that's left. But out of nowhere, a new hope has arisen. Our young hero Garrett is on a quest to find Father Christmas, who he believes is the only man that might have the power to dismantle the war completely. Garrett, and a leader of the small but mighty Christmasville militia, could be the only chance the planet has at returning to its jolly old self. But several questions remain. Where's Father Christmas, and why has he not stopped the war already? Who is Jack Frost, and what dark partnership did he have with General Almond? And what evil lurks behind the drawbridge of Castle Wenceslas? Raphael Sam will once again be the interior artist of this second issue. I, Ryan Hawk, will continue to write the story, and Tom Barton, our great cover artist, will draft the 5-page backup story, The Tragedy of Jack Frost, as well as drawing the variant and main cover of the second issue. Bric-a-Brac is back and better than ever. Please help us make this a reality.
Welcome to the Ghetto Dragon, Book 1, No Good Deed, a 60-plus page story about a young man named Matt Guerra, who saves an underage girl from being kidnapped by a heartless, gruesome gang named Los Valientes, who will stop at nothing to protect their street cred. Follow Matt as he pays the consequences of his good deed with his fists, causing Los Valientes to turn their sights on his family. Does our hero back down, or does he stand his ground? Join us in this martial arts adventure that involves action, drama, a little romance, and tragedy. Follow Julius Freeman on Twitter and Facebook for the latest updates. Also, check out his YouTube channel and subscribe, where you can join him in exploring the rich history behind the creation of the Ghetto Dragon. Help make it happen for the Ghetto Dragon, Book 1, No Good Deed. You won't regret it.
They said I couldn't get the rights to Earthworm Jim. They said I could not make hardbound comics in the USA. They said I couldn't do leather.
They said I was crazy. Well, maybe now they won't think I'm so crazy after all.
I want this to be a book where it's like going through my art pages.
Sitting in another world. When you're a baby, ain't nothing better than your mother's breast. You're drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. You don't need no utensils to eat because you're a baby. But when you start growing little teeth, mama goes, and she start taking a little spoon, putting some little food in your mouth. And at first, you know what they do? They spit it out. They don't like that. Well, mama don't like getting bit either. So she keep pushing stuff into your mouth. You see, so you go from this soft breast where you don't need any utensils, and then there's someone using an utensil which is kind of round and safe and begins to feed you. But when you mature, you start eating T-bone steak and you have some sharp instruments. You got a knife and you got a fork, and you don't need nobody to tell you how to eat. You just start cutting your food and eating it. The problem with the body of Messiah is that we've been sucking on milk for way too long, listening to the same messages day after day, week after week. How many times you need to hear that Jesus done love you and he died for you, and how many times you have to go in front of the cross? He ain't there no more. He's moving on, and people don't need a 2,000-year revelation of Jesus. They need a revelation of I am today. They need to see him today. They need to see him in you today.
Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos.
It was a moment that our land, our motherland, remembers, not with a vowed sense of joy, but rather horror. For it was a time where we were attacked by the mighty supreme military force of the German army. Women would arise, women not made of silk and soft flour, but rather women that would choose to be the Valkyries of the sky and fly above our motherland and face our foes with such fury and aggression to protect the motherland. They were known as the White Lily. They are the angels and warriors of the sky.
Hi, it's your boy Fresher Luke. I'm here to tell you about a new book and IP that I'm looking to get off the ground. The project in question is called Forsaken Gods, a 60-page full-color comic book that follows the adventures of an archaeologist named Samara Ankma. and her search in trying to find out what caused a great war between the gods,
which resulted in the world to be filled with magic, dragons, spirits, and monsters, as well as ancient magical artifacts of immense power.
Anyway, the story of the book takes place when Samara and her hired help enter a vault that sits under the Great Iron Horse Mountain, as she looks for clues to the war's origin. Once there, her entire team is killed, leaving her to try and escape on her own, only to come face to face with an amazing weapon known only as the Skull Knight. This is issue 1 of a potential multi-issue series exploring Samara and her journey in trying to figure out who or what Skull Knight is, while also being pursued by deadly foes, hell-bent on either capturing or destroying the creature. As she is not only a woken Skull Knight, but also the long-sleeping old gods that survived the war who see the Skull Knight as a threat to their remaining power. The book itself will contain 50 pages of story with 10 pages of behind-the-scenes sketches, plus special guest art from some exceptionally talented artists and concept designers. All of it will be in full color. On top of that, also included in the base tier are some stickers and a special custom-made trading card featuring none other than the Skull Knight himself. If this sounds like a project for you, then vote with your dollar and back this campaign on Indiegogo. And also, feel free to spread the word via social media as well. Many thanks. I'm Fresher Luke, and thank you for considering Forsaken Gods. I hope to see you at the finish line.
Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy and I feel like loving you.
Hey everybody, we're finally launching Industry Issue 2. I'm very excited for that. We've upped the story, more story pages, bigger, bolder action. Some really cool creators joining us, like Miss Sashi doing awesome back cover for us. Now, Pickles also really improved the story. We gotta gel together more on issue 2. So I'm really excited to show you all. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, it's the writer and co-creator of Vestry here, Dylan. I want to welcome you all to our second campaign for issue 2. Well, it's the first campaign for issue 2, but I want to say that this takes place directly after issue 1. So if you've not read issue 1, we will be offering a tier where you can get that. Issue 2, Damon's going to be fighting an extra dimensional monster, basically. He's going to have a hard time with this. We also we really were blown away by how much you guys liked Vodnik, our short story Ashcan. So we're going to be doing another Ashcan called The Eye of Moltstein. We're really excited about this one because our character's going to be fighting a giant, and I hope you love it as much as we do. I think you all are going to love it.
So thank you all for joining us, and please do back the campaign, and most importantly, guys, share, because word of the mouth is just makes these campaigns, and it's something that will make or break our campaign. And you've been so good to us for the first issue, and we're hoping to get even better on the second one. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos.
He was the most grotesque creature, the arch vampire, Dracula. Count Dracula.
Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos. Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So, what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know, and we can put your video in with these videos.
The Nutcrackers' War has left the inhabitants of Planet Christmas hopeless and desperate for heroes. Dozens of provinces and villages have been taken over by General Almond and his evil soldiers who aim to rule the planet and capture all the Christmas spirit that's left. But out of nowhere, a new hope has arisen. Our young hero Garrett is on a quest to find Father Christmas, who he believes is the only man that might have the power to dismantle the war completely. Garrett and a leader of the small but mighty Christmasville militia could be the only chance the planet has at returning to its jolly old self. But several questions remain. Where's Father Christmas, and why has he not stopped the war already? Who is Jack Frost, and what dark partnership did he have with General Almond? And what evil lurks behind the drawbridge of Castle Wenceslas? Raphael Sam will once again be the interior artist of this second issue. I, Ryan Hawk, will continue to write the story, and Tom Barton, our great cover artist, will draft the 5-page backup story, The Tragedy of Jack Frost, as well as drawing the variant and main cover of the second issue. Bric-a-Brac is back and better than ever. Please help us make this a reality.
Welcome to the Ghetto Dragon, Book 1, No Good Deed, a 60-plus page story about a young man named Matt Guerra, who saves an underage girl from being kidnapped by a heartless, gruesome gang named Los Valientes, who will stop at nothing to protect their street cred. Follow Matt as he pays the consequences of his good deed with his fists, causing Los Valientes to turn their sights on his family. Does our hero back down, or does he stand his ground? Join us in this martial arts adventure that involves action, drama, a little romance, and tragedy. Follow Julius Freeman on Twitter and Facebook for the latest updates. Also, check out his YouTube channel and subscribe, where you can join him in exploring the rich history behind the creation of the Ghetto Dragon. Help make it happen for the Ghetto Dragon, Book 1, No Good Deed. You won't regret it.
They said I couldn't get the rights to Earthworm Jim. They said I could not make hardbound comics in the USA. They said I couldn't do leather.
They said I was crazy. Well, maybe now they won't think I'm so crazy after all.
I want this to be a book where it's like going through my art pages.
But I was sitting in another world.
When you're a baby, ain't nothing better than your mother's breast. You're drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. You don't need no utensils to eat because you're a baby. But when you start growing little teeth, mama goes, and she start taking a little spoon, putting some little food in your mouth. And at first, you know what they do? They spit it out. They don't like that. But mama don't like getting bit either. So she keep pushing stuff into your mouth. You see, so you go from this soft breast where you don't need any utensils. And then there's someone using an utensil, which is kind of round and safe and begins to feed you. But when you mature, you start eating T-bone steak and you have some sharp instruments. You got a knife and you got a fork and you don't need nobody to tell you how to eat. You just start cutting your food and eating it. The problem with the body of Messiah is that we've been sucking on milk for way too long, listening to the same messages day after day, week after week. How many times you need to hear that Jesus doesn't love you and he died for you, and how many times you have to go in front of the cross. He ain't there no more. He's moving on, and people don't need a 2,000-year revelation of Jesus. They need a revelation of I am today. They need to see him today. They need to see him in you today.
Welcome to the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. So what we're doing here is in the hour before our live show, we're promoting our comics as well as other people's comics. Do you have a comic book you want to promote? Let us know and we can put your video in with these videos.
It was a moment that our land, our motherland, remembers, not with a vowed sense of joy, but rather horror. For it was a time where we were attacked by the mighty supreme military force of the German army. Women would arise, women not made of silk and soft flour, but rather women that would choose to be the Valkyries of the sky and fly above our motherland and face our foes with such fury and aggression to protect the motherland. They were known as the White Lily. They are the angels and warriors of the sky.
Hi, it's your boy Fresher Luke. I'm here to tell you about a new book and IP that I'm looking to get off the ground. The project in question is called Forsaken Gods, a 60-page full-color comic book that follows the adventures of an archaeologist named Samara Ankma and her search in trying to find out what caused a great war between the gods,
which resulted in the world to be filled with magic, dragons, spirits, and monsters, as well as ancient magical artifacts of immense power.
Anyway, the story of the book takes place when Samara and her hired help enter a vault that sits under the Great Iron Horse Mountain as she looks for clues to the war's origin. Once there, her entire team is killed, leaving her to try and escape on her own, only to come face to face with an amazing weapon known only as the Skull Knight. This is issue 1 of a potential multi-issue series exploring Samara and her journey in trying to figure out who or what Skull Knight is, while also being pursued by deadly foes, hell-bent on either capturing or destroying the creature. As she is not only a woken Skull Knight, but also the long-sleeping old gods that survived the war who see the Skull Knight as a threat to their remaining power. The book itself will contain 50 pages of story with 10 pages of behind-the-scenes sketches, plus special guest art from some exceptionally talented artists and concept designers. All of it will be in full color. On top of that, also included in the base tier are some stickers and a special custom-made trading card featuring none other than the Skull Knight himself. If this sounds like a project for you, then vote with your dollar and back this campaign on Indiegogo. And also, feel free to spread the word via social media as well. Many thanks. I'm Fresher Luke, and thank you for considering Forsaken Gods. I hope to see you at the finish line.
Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy, and I feel like loving you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm probably muted. Hang on. Oh, I'm not muted.
Love in my tummy, and I feel like loving you.
Okay, there we go. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, one and all. I am Christopher Tamulovich, creator of Hero Shack, Last of the Reapers, and etc. etc. So we're waiting on my wife to join. I can hear her somewhere in the hallway, so it'd probably be a few minutes. So what you saw there in the first hour was us promoting indie comics of all sorts. And I'm going to keep doing that because, to be honest, I was humbled today by something I heard talking to somebody who doesn't even know that I was humbled by them. But I found out there are people watching that I didn't expect, and that's exciting. Y'all don't often speak up. I welcome you to in the chat or join us on StreamYard. The link should be in the chat. If it's not, I'll paste it again. But the point of this channel and the point of this show is to promote my comics and actually indie comics in general. If you don't know what indie comics are, they're comics not published by Marvel, DC, Image, maybe a couple of other publishers there that you might want to consider mainstream. But basically, when I say indie, I mean, the one-man show type of deal in terms of we're just people making what we love. It's our passion. With that said, if you're out there wanting to make a comic and you don't know how, you don't know what to do, contact us, or contact others. There are plenty of people here to help with that. And not only here, but on the internet and around the world. It's such a short life. So tonight, hi, honey. You're muted. Did you do that on purpose? Yeah, don't answer because I can't hear you. She said she was tired, and I promised to monologue a lot, but this is silly. I didn't know she'd be silent.
No, I wanted to shut the
Hi.
that thing over. Hi.
I have to turn up my volume. Okay.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired, but good.
So
Hi,
I'm kind
everybody.
of excited, but it's weird because our show gets so few views right now that nobody realizes what we did tonight. But I'm opening up the floodgates. I'm offering our first hour up to anybody who's got a comic book trailer that lasts between a minute or two. And we, as fans and creators, can talk about these creations. Yeah, I just want to expand. I want to reach out and reach more people. I found myself trapped within a group of like maybe 50 Twitter people who I adore and love. But we're not growing, like as a group. And there's some breakout successes, but I think we can do better as a group. And I think that I have yet to step up and do anything that, I'm capable of. And part of that is promoting everything. Skinny, a friend of ours, Matthew, likes to say, that a rising tide brings up all the ships. And I agree with that. That's a philosophy I've had all my life. Diana knows that everything we've ever done, we've tried to lift other people. And granted, it really hasn't helped us much, but it does feel good and it has built character.
I was going to say, but it has helped us because it keeps us going. When we edify and build others up, we get a sense of satisfaction because we're in the trenches with them. We know how challenging it is as an independent comic book artist / publishing press company. It's really, really hard to keep yourself motivated when you're looking for bigger numbers than you have. But patience, it will come one day at a time. You're dropping the bucket.
I've always believed myself, and I recommend this to all creators. If you have the passion to create. In time, you will build a reputation for the work you do. And if you're meant to do this, it will grow and you'll eventually get to a point where you're achieving the goals that you set out to achieve. Now, if your goal is to get the next MCU superstar independent movie hit, I don't know what to tell you. I'm only here to make comics. But when I started this, I can honestly tell people this. My goal was just to make comics. And I can say, quite frankly, I'm doing that. Now, I'm not making big numbers. There are some guys out there who make the 6 figures, and there are some who make 5 and some who make 4. We are still in the 3-figure zone. But you know what? I look at it like baseball or wrestling. Wrestling is more like it. I'm in like the independent wrestling league right now. I'm in some little, little federation in a little town somewhere, building my strength up, building my skills up. And when I'm ready, I'll be elevated without having to elevate myself. But in the meanwhile, there's a lot of people out there who I meet that are better than I am and lesser than I am. And yet we're all in the same arena. We're all in the same circuit. So just like wrestling, if you have a star in wrestling, the harder you push him forward, the bigger everybody goes. It's the same thing in comics. So when I watch our pre-show, and we right now have a mix of everything, and I do mean everything. I don't even want to name who's in there because I know I have friends who won't understand right now, but I will promote just about anybody in that first hour. And I know that's going to upset some people, but it's not about the people right now. It's about the comics. And there's an argument to be made about responsible creatorship and all that stuff. That's all issues we work out as people, like as businesses. So I look at it like, if you don't like a creator, I really don't know what to say other than don't buy that creator's book. And I'm being careful because I don't want to make anybody a gender, because that's the PC thing not to do. He, she, it, they, whatever. If they're indie and they want to promote here, I have a full hour that I run clips. That's all it is. I would appreciate it if people would avoid using copywritten music. I have to talk to Pastor or I called him Pastor Rabbi. Rabbi Peter, who is a pastor. That's funny because I put him under both.
Poor Rabbi.
Yeah, I need to contact him because what I need is I want to make Messiah kisses, like Hershey kisses. I want to do little 1 minute clips, but I need them without the music because all the music he's ever used is copywritten. It's like, good Lord,
I don't think he realizes. He doesn't realize it.
Oh,
Maybe he does.
He does realize it because when he found out I was running Messiah Chip episode in the pre-show, he was like, "Yep, we get flagged all the time." He knows.
That's so funny.
That's probably why he doesn't do it anymore. Now he's doing a new series, which we can talk about at a later date, because now I'm getting off of comics.
Yes, you are.
But there's a lot to talk about. I've been working towards our 3rd issue of Hero Shack in Search of Heroes.
Indeed.
I'm finding, and I'm going to need a way to put this on the cover, but my books are definitely going to be 13 plus. I am working on a child concept for younger, but I don't have that yet. But I really want to be cautious in letting people know the book is not, filth. It's not sex. It's not overly anything. But because of the way I write and the style I write, some of it is a little bit more PG-13-ish. I think that's safe to say, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't let me drop any F-bombs, and I really don't use the A word and the B word much. But every once in a while, when the scene requires it, I'll get a little spicy. And if it gets by Diana, it's pretty much PG-13.
And the content too is a little bit more older for like the PG-13 crowd as opposed to under 13.
Well, let's put it this way. Issue 3 of Hero Shack involves the whole Christmas mythology of Santa Claus, dealt with in a very bold and polarizing manner. All right, so let me do this while we speak. Let me see if I can pull this off. I think I can.
Okay.
Boom. Okay. By the way, guys, if anybody's out there and wants to join, again, I'm trolling for guests. Come on in. StreamYard is live and active. I'll try to post the link in the chats again. But it is in the chat further back. I should have put it in the description, but it's weird because you don't get the share link till you create the StreamYard, and you create the description before you get it. It's weird, but That's why it's not in the description ever, because it doesn't really work out that way. Anyways, what you're looking at is an unedited proof of issue 3. It's on my iPad. I'm putting it in 2-page orientation because I like when the 2-page spreads work out. Now, I will tell you, there are panels in the beginning of this issue that are going to be changed because I don't like the way they're drawn now. Because, of course, I keep going and learning stuff, and it sounds silly, but sometimes I go back and I go, yeah, I just have to redo that. These pages I'm very fond of, but you've seen all these before. This is where we really start to get off of what you've already seen, because now we're getting colors. The script is there. It hasn't been edited, so I'm sure there's typos, maybe an occasional spelling error. And that's why Sweet Diana comes in and fixes that up eventually. What she does, and it's really great, is she does a live reading in front of me. And we sit there, and if something just sounds funny, we work on it right then, because she now knows how to use my lettering application. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. Maybe we'll record it one time and just do it now. This 2-page spread you guys have seen before, but it was only in black and white. This is my colored rendition of it. I'm really excited. This is where Super Scrooge first appears. There he is. His real name is Brian. He's a 12-year-old boy who's been put in a man's body, and now he's been morphed into this. It's not it's not a costume. It's literally become part of his skin and body, which will play into how he goes down ultimately, because he's a powerhouse. But yeah, he has an issue because he can't get out of the suit. He can't open the suit, and I'll leave it there for now. This is another page that you guys, I think you may have seen it in the video, but it's now colored, like I said. And basically what we're looking at here is Cyclopean and Arctic Blast. They are in civilian clothes, driving I put truck on the grill. It's actually a mix of a Chevy and a Ford, kind of blended. I was using 2 photo references of the new Bronco and the new Blazer, which was kind of interesting. So they're merged together. And I did that just because I didn't want to draw like an exact vehicle. I wanted it to be kind of like it looked modern, but not, you know what I mean? And it's easy because all the vehicles look the same now. They really do. Anyways, on the right there, you see the house that belongs to our Arctic Blast foster parents. This is a revelation that comes out in the story. By the way, the 2 people in that page are friends of mine on Twitter, or maybe I should call them acquaintances or internet friends. I don't know what the correct term is, but
followers.
Yeah, Beth and Paul, there you go, guys. This is what it's coming down to. I'm very excited because you guys have a big role in the story. As you can see, there's further coloring, and I'm just going to keep flipping through, honey.
Okay.
Because the whole book is not finished. It's just a preview. There you see the Shadow Dragon lady performing in front of Violet Vamp, who's in civilian clothes as well. Now, remember, I didn't say this in this stream, but in the beginning of the book, they get tossed from the UFO for 30 days without pay for insubordination and disrespect. So Cyclopean and Arctic Blast are doing their own thing at Christmas time, and Violet Vamp decided to go see her friend instead of respond to an emergency text. And I'll leave it at that. On the right, you see the beginning of Super Scrooge's training, which is going to be fun. You notice that his eyelid is green, honey? In the on the left-hand page, in the upper right-hand corner of it, his eyelid is green, and that is because that's not a suit that he can put on or off. It actually became part of his skin, which is an interesting, like I said, thing.
He absorbed it, didn't he? Like it's absorbed into the skin or something.
It kind of grew out from his skin.
Okay.
So on the right, you see the interior of Arctic Blast's parents' house, which probably looks nothing like my friend's house, but I did my own thing. And on the bottom, you see Cyclopean realizing that these people have some sort of powers.
I don't see that. All I see is.
You don't see her holding the coffee cups on the
Oh
lower.
yeah, wait. I do. Yep.
Oh, you
I
must
was
have.
looking at. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Gotcha. By the way, I want to point out this panel on the lower right there, that one right there, that
Mhm.
one.
Yep.
Diana had a lot to do in editing. The eye was screwed up, and she did happen to see it, and she said, "Fix that eye." By the way, she also helped me fix the boob.
Yeah, the
We
boobs
won't
look
zoom in
weird.
on the boob. It was not looking round, and it was looking
It
weird.
wasn't looking boobyish enough.
Yes, I was
the
impressed.
character.
She corrected me on it.
Yeah, like that.
This
Looks
is
weird.
not the latest art, but it's okay because I just want to show you what we're working on. Here we find out how well, we don't find out anything. We just find out that Cyclopean does indeed consume liquid and food, but it happens off camera because it's pretty disgusting. And you can see by Best reaction in the middle. Yeah, it's kind of like, oh my. And then we do a little creative storytelling and jump into the next scene where we find Super Scrooge has learned a new skill, and they went deer hunting. And you'll have to read it to understand what happened there. But we go on. Ooh, look at that. I put in the page wrong. That's good to know. But we go on, and what's going to happen is this is another 2-page spread, but I haven't put in all the pages yet.
Yeah.
And that's got a really cool layout. I wish I could show you. Actually, I can. I want to show you the layout because I'm proud of it. I'm sorry. Sometimes I really dig my own work, which maybe I should, but that's part of enjoying what you do. Okay, hang on. Hit the X and go like this. So as you can see, what happens here is overnight, they get like 8 inches of snow. And she's kind of blaming him for this because Arctic Blast, of course, controls a lot with the with cold and Arctic Blast. It's a little hint to his powers if you haven't read the previous issues. But he actually doesn't claim responsibility for it because it's an actual snowstorm. This will lead into hijinks in the snow with Cyclopean shoveling with him. And then we'll have the action that this is all building up to, where Super Scrooge and Cyber Sprite will basically come to town and try to destroy all things Santa. Now, I didn't say it out loud. If there are children in the room listening who believe in Santa Claus, now is the time to cover their ears, because we just don't want to give them any weird ideas. You know, I'll say this little piece in 3, 2, 1. So Cyber Sprite is a really bad dude, and he's messing with this kid using fairy magic on him, basically. And he's told him that Santa Claus did not come to his house because Santa Claus hates poor people and hates poor children, which builds a hatred in the child. And it's a bit extreme, but it's part of the writing style that I have. I am a little weird. I like to have these quirks and things that people don't normally think about. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm
looking forward to the feedback.
I want to try to get it to the point where, yeah, it's ready for Christmas. And I'm getting close. I'm at about 20 pages now, I think.
How many pages do you think you're going to have on that?
It's going to end up being probably 30 to 40.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, folks, I have to be honest, but 22, 24 page comic feels really thin now. After doing Reapers, which was a little bit too long for the time period that I did it in, my volume has increased. And it would be one thing if I thought the art was getting worse, but I'm really seeing and understanding what I'm doing better. There are things in the panels that nobody would appreciate, but myself and other artists, who get to the point where you're like, you start to understand how to make the lines say what you want them to say. Like you're reading that book about comic books. Honey?
Yeah.
That's where you say, yeah, I am. I forget the title. In fact, I wish it was here, but you have it somewhere. Anyways, it's kind of like that. You start learning your own shorthand to telling a story.
Right.
And I'm getting excited. Every book I do this, but again, I'm like, this book is going to rock. This book is going to be something that is going to blow away the last book, which to me is an accomplishment because I was so excited about Reapers, and I still am. But every step, as long as every step goes up and it's not sideways, I'll be doing this. I'll be getting excited, and I think that's a good thing. I think if you're creating comics and you don't feel like you're improving, even if it's in little things, one of the most exciting things about Reapers was it's in full bleed. I've never had a comic in full bleed. They all had the white gutters around the pages. This time it runs right off the page. It gives me, 2-page layout capabilities. It's opened up a new world. And that's exciting to me. It gives my medium more breath to breathe.
I agree.
So it's apparent we don't have a large crowd. So how do we improve that?
I don't know. Stand on your head. We changed it to
Wednesdays.
I'm wondering if the hour-long pre-show confuses people because I'm looking. There were people that were popping in. A couple of people. It looked like Mighty Geek Studios and Vic King, and they're like, "Oh, it's the pre-show."
Yeah, I don't know where they went.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe the pre-show shouldn't be an hour.
The pre-show might have offended them.
What did you put on the pre-show? Why would you do that?
I wasn't trying to offend anybody, but when I did it, I realized it might. It's okay.
I'm gonna have to start watching the pre-shows now.
Why?
Why? Let's see.
All right. Hang on. Let's do this. It's number one. It's just a pre-show, and I didn't think anybody. I don't know. It's me. I'm feeling it.
Like
tonight.
literally nobody has come in.
Yeah, I know. They must have hated it. Literally, this show sucks that bad. I don't know. Maybe I should ask people to come in and join us. Like literally solicit them, make them feel guilty.
That's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
No.
Okay, hang on.
You're going to show me the pre-show and I'm going to be mortified. Am I going to be mortified?
No. What I'm going to do is show you the playlist.
How long is the pre-show?
It's about 20 minutes, I think. So you have this thing here. You've seen that, right? The pre-show, Phil?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Newest Lone Wolf promo you've seen.
Yeah.
Pyramid Nights.
Yeah.
Now, Assel is new. You want to see it?
Okay.
It's minute and 38. Hang on, let me hit play here. Let me pull it up. Oh, wait. Stop. Share screen. You know what I did? Did you mute yourself? Hang on. Okay, let me see what happened here. Okay, I have to go here and hit share audio and click the pre-show playlist. There we go. Are you with me or did you drop, honey?
I'm here.
Okay. So you've seen everything up until this video.
Okay.
He was the most grotesque creature, the arch-vampire, Dracula. Count Dracula.
That wasn't bad.
All right.
What was
It
wrong with
might be a
that?
little polarizing though, because not everybody likes
Well, but
everybody, and
it wasn't, horrible. I didn't know what you were talking about. Nobody'd be offended. Why would people be offended by that?
because of who made the comics.
Oh, well, that I don't have any idea. I didn't find it to be offensive at all. I thought it was good. It was
Okay, I'll show you
interesting.
another one that might be considered offensive. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Remember, it's because of who they are, not what this is.
Interesting indeed. So how's everyone doing?
Hey, Terry. We've seen this one.
So how was your trip?
It was amazing. I had a wonderful time. Good to be back home, though, but I really had a good time. It was beautiful in Florida. So, Chris, whose video was that? Like, I don't get it. I can't hear you. You're muted. Dude.
I'm sitting here talking again. I'm like,
your mouth was.
So the production value was very good, right?
Oh, yeah, it was good. All right. Yeah, it was good.
As far as our video pre-show
Yeah.
goes, it was a well-produced video.
Uh-huh.
That comes from War Campaign.
Okay, and the point is, you're bigger and
Highly
better.
controversial. Highly controversial.
Why? Because it's War Campaign?
Because they've done some grotesque things. But I want to be like promoting all indie comics, so I threw that in the list.
Wow, aren't you the generous
You know what? I'm
dude?
just sick of the fighting. And so here's an example of what I go through every day. If I go on Twitter and I look all these people up, almost all of them have the same political views as me. Almost all of them like the same kind of music I like. And then we have disagreements that are meaningless. We're all online people. We're all trying to make comics, and we get in, I'm sorry, quite frankly, bullshit fights. And I'm tired of playing that game. So you know what? If someone's got a good comic.
So is this like the olive branch, Christopher?
No, this isn't an olive branch. This is a sword. He did not come to make peace, but to bring a sword. And the sword says to like yes, it's an olive branch, but it's also a sword. I'm cutting loose this emotional baggage I have. Like, why do I dislike people I don't even know? I can dislike some of the stuff they do. I don't have to hang out with them. I don't have to be buddies with them.
You don't need dinner with them.
But for years, I read comics from Marvel and DC and didn't know anything about those creators.
Right.
And if I didn't know anything about these guys, like you didn't know, I'm it looks like a comic. So I think
whatever.
we have to be mindful of that. You know, that we run into these situations where it's like, why did we go that far? That was stupid. We're arguing over.
Because we're stupid people sometimes. I don't know.
I think this one is new. Do you want to see another new one?
True.
Okay.
But the problem isn't about us being stupid. The problem is about someone wanting you to like everything they do.
Book 1.
Or agree with everything you do.
A 60-plus page story about a young man named Matt Guerra who saves an underage girl from being kidnapped by a heartless, gruesome gang named Los Valientes, who will stop at nothing to protect their street cred. Follow Matt as he pays the consequences of his good deed with his fists, causing Los Valientes to turn their sights on his family. Does our hero back down, or does he stand his ground? Join us in this martial arts adventure that involves action, drama, a little romance, and tragedy. Follow Julius Freeman on Twitter and Facebook for the latest updates. Also, check out his YouTube channel and subscribe where you can join him in exploring the rich history behind the creation of the Ghetto Dragon. Help make it happen for the Ghetto Dragon Book 1, No Good Deed. You won't regret it.
They said
Whoops.
I couldn't get the right.
Thoughts? Any thoughts, Di?
Well, I don't know where that comes from.
Neither do I, to be honest. I saw that on Twitter today. I thought the whole thing had potential. And so I thought I'll just add it to the pre-show list. Now I
Did
did
you
want
not
it.
watch it? Did you watch it?
Yeah, but I didn't watch it as closely as I could have because there is some language in that one that normally I would not have on the channel. So that'll probably be removed from the list just for that because commercially it's a good idea not to drop F-bombs in your advertising.
Yes, I agree.
So
Especially when you have a whole school system who knows you as Hero Shack, Mr. T, and all that.
well, yeah. And I mean, I don't want to promote terrible stuff, with the understanding, folks, that if you're out there watching this and you're interested in Mr. T and stuff, this is very much more of a teenage to adult industry, comic books. Now, if it's explicitly for kids, you should be able to tell in some way. So we're going to find a way to make sure everybody knows if we produce something, what you're getting into if you want to buy it. We've always done that. We make it quite clear. It's not, again, that we produce, cartoon porn or some sort of, F-bomb fest or anything like that. But my stories and my work wouldn't necessarily work with an 8-year-old, whether it's, bleach clean or has a couple of, cuss words here or there or implied, situations. The storylines can get a little bit more intense than just, bad guy on a hill with a laser gun. Uh-oh, you see who's here? It's Lorenzo.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Lorenzo.
What's up, bro?
That was kind of confusing because you were talking about like the F-bomb and stuff, and I joined the chat and I found I had been living in the past. There's that delay.
Well, I'm just showing some of the new stuff I've added. Getting down. Oh, I added this one too. I'll play this one for you, honey.
Hey everybody, you're finally launching Desperate Issue 2. I'm very excited for that. The up to the story, more story pages, bigger, bolder action. Some really cool creators joining us, like Miss Sashi doing awesome back cover for us. Now, Pickles also really improved the story. They kind of gel together more on issue 2. So I'm really excited to show you all. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, it's the writer and co-creator of Esther here, Dylan. I want to welcome you all to our second campaign for issue 2. Well, it's the first campaign for issue 2, but I want to say that this takes place directly after issue 1. So if you've not read issue 1, we will be offering a tier where you can get that. Issue 2, Damon's going to be fighting an extra dimensional monster, basically. He's going to have a hard time with this. We also we really were blown away by how much you guys liked Vodnik, our short story Ashcan. So we're going to be doing another Ashcan called The Eye of Maltstein. We're really excited about this one because our character's going to be fighting a giant. I hope you love it as much as we do. I think you are going to love it.
So thank you all for joining us, and please do back the campaign, and most importantly, guys, share, because word of the mouth is just makes these campaigns, and it's something that will make or break our campaign. and you've been so good to us for the first issue, and we're hoping to get even better on the second one. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know those guys either.
Oh,
no. Is this Mr. Pickle?
There's my Pickles, or English Nacho is his other name, and well, he's got probably a legal name too, and then there's Shabby, or Yakub is his.
Is that the guy who said, okay, so I got to tell you, my favorite phrase of the whole thing was word of the mouth. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, they both have beards. Even their character has a beard. And
yeah,
then,
I was almost looking
they
at
both
it.
have thick accents.
Yeah,
Very thick accents. I liked it.
Yeah,
It's interesting to listen to.
Oh, they're interesting guys. I mean, when I say I believe, his name is Yakub. I mean, that's what he calls himself, along with Shabby. But I can't prove that's his legal name or anything. But yeah, that's what we call him, is Yakub or Shabby.
Well, my name is really Chris T. Google thinks so.
Yeah, there you go.
My Google Home.
It kind of is. I mean, the T part is abbreviated, but
yeah. Well, it's funny because I have it registered as to Chris T, but Google Home reads it as Christ.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I'll set a reminder, and Google will go, I have a reminder for Christ.
Oh, that's so weird.
I'm like, really, Chris?
It doesn't understand the space. It just responded to me. Did you hear it? Diana's in the same house, so I thought she might have heard it.
I'm downstairs in my office in the side room.
So you say, "Hey Google," does that activate it when I say it?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
Oh no.
What do you want, right?
I shut that stuff off on my phone because that kind of creeps me out. I heard that these companies have recorded people having sex and all sorts.
Oh, no, I don't mind being recorded at all. I like sometimes talk to it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
don't mind
hey.
the rest of the household, like your wife and your daughter.
They sell the information to. They might. I mean, I don't know. They might sell the information. I don't want to start any. I don't have a lawyer to defend myself against Google.
Look, I give it away for free. I don't know what they could possibly sell.
Well, they're probably just selling stuff back to you.
Yeah. Well, I do know about the advertising because I get that all the time. If I go in the kitchen and I say that I want to think about going to a Volkswagen dealership, and I go on my computer, it's all over my computer. Wherever the ads pop up, there's a Volkswagens now on sale. I know. I know you're watching. That's how
I remember mentioning on Facebook that my dad was cremated, and I didn't know about. I was asking about like the religious, or significance or something, and then then all of a sudden I got added to some sort of ad list for cremation services.
Oh my God. That's awful.
Yeah.
Okay, we're halfway there. Their hair is coming down.
It's like, no wonder you shut it off, Lorenzo. I would be too. I'd be like, no way.
Yeah. That was on Facebook, and that was
weepy.
Yeah, because of a post I had made. So it's like,
yeah, they do the algorithms and all that.
Yeah, so I shut off the different things I'm aware of. Like I don't know if it's Google Assistant or what they call that.
Yeah, it's an assistant thing, and they call it Google. Yeah. They have a few names now. I think right now they just call it Google Mess, and they're trying to catch up to Alexa.
Yeah, and if I had when I do have some Amazon devices, and I was going to say if I have one, but I shut that off too, Alexa. But I can see there are times when that can be handy, and I think I'd turn the thing on to use it if I'd remember.
I have a lot of fun with it. It's just something else in the house that, it's another electronic toy. If we were to bring this up in the 19th, 20th, or early 19th century or something, whatever, in the past, they would think it was magic, Yeah. Hey, Google, what's the weather? And it gives you a full report. It's like,
they burn you all as witches.
Yeah, they might. They might. Unless I had like a magic taser gun.
No, that would be magic to them.
Just walk around with a 9-volt battery and go, lick this. I have the power.
Yeah, those tasers are pretty dangerous things. I've heard of people dying from those.
Mhm.
And then heard people being tased in the head too. And
Well, yeah, and I mean, it could happen to anybody. Anybody could be in, compromised health conditions and get tased, and that could be it. Maybe you're on a drug, maybe you're a little drunk, maybe you have a heart condition, maybe you just have high blood pressure, but something, zaps your ass with 50,000 volts. Yeah, you could have some consequences that are serious.
Yeah, people like it's being like, I think it was marketed as non-lethal, but it should have been like maybe as like a replacement to the Billy Club. If somebody thinks about it like that, maybe,
Hey,
maybe it makes a little more sense.
I gotta ask, what's up with Terry, man? You're quiet tonight, bro.
No, I was doing something else.
As long as you're okay.
I'm all right.
How'd everybody's Thanksgiving go? We haven't even talked about that.
Well,
I had a wonderful Thanksgiving, by the way. Diane's family came over. I wish my sister had, but I think we lost communication somewhere along the line there on that. Maybe Christmas, we'll figure it out. With COVID and everything, it's been weird.
Yeah, I got together with my mom.
We had fewer than 10 people in our residence, which is the Massachusetts requirement. And we all wore masks the whole time, except for when we didn't. And, but no, it was very nice and pleasant. And some of the comic book actually got created in front of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do an iPad. It's fun. I like doing
basically, guys, Chris ate dinner. He acknowledged our guests. My brother bought his book. He went to Amazon and bought the book right there at the table. And he drew. That's what he meant by that.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. That's all he did. Nothing else.
I guess I should show it, huh?
He ate and drew.
The Last of the Reapers book. I'm showing it because it's the latest, greatest book we have, but the next one's going to be out soon. Full bleed.
Full bleed. It looks really cool. It's
Yeah, but the new full bleeds are even cooler. And I think that's going to start happening. Just like laying out a 2-page spread is a little different, a little weirder or unusual to balance. You're going from basically portrait to landscape. It opens up a whole new style of storytelling. Like in the 2-page spread I showed earlier, that's going to be something else. Because it's going to really express, look, it snowed. Because on, a couple of pages earlier, we show the house. There's no snow. There's just a couple of Christmas decorations. It's really kind of, chummy. And then boom. By the way, I just want to say, too, I don't know where Gary is, but I hope he's okay. We switched to Wednesdays, and he's supposed to be here. I'm going to have to guilt my friend.
Yeah, that switch is a little confusing, but I don't know. I think Wednesday might be a better day. Monday's one of those days where people are just kind of recovering from the weekend.
Well, I might still do like a Monday hangout. We should do like watch parties, like in I think how that goes is everybody picks a movie and we all turn it on at the same time and then have like a room that watches it together and we comment. I'm not sure. I'm looking into how to do that, but we should do stuff like that. Just, I don't know, find a way to hang out and laugh and basically get to know our other friends and audiences. Shinobi 1, how are you, bro? Hey, Shinobi's the one that I actually put in the he's in the pre-show thing too, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know, honey. I haven't. Yeah, I think so. You put his video in, right?
Yeah, he's got a really short one that I used. Hang on. I'm going to find it.
Does he realize you put the video in? Yeah.
I hope so. I hope he's not mad about that. That's why I'm like, oh gosh.
What is the subject today, Christopher?
Promotion, brother. Boom. Okay, so where is it now? I have to find the right one. Master Lim. This was in our pre-show tonight and last week too.
There you go. It's cool.
I really want a 1 minute to 2 minute one, but this one I found really quick last week and I thought it was great.
Mastered him. Love it.
To the Hero Shack Chronicles pre-show. Oh, there we are. We're done with that. I'm not. I can't see what he's saying because I got this stupid thing that says new comments.
He said, I'm not mad as long as it gives me attention, I can use it. That's the point, Shinobi, is to give other indie artists, you know, just more
a
exposure.
minute-long video or minute to two featuring a comic book or even your stream, let me know. Put it on YouTube, and I'll put it in the pre-show because, yeah, you're one of the boys, man. You're cool.
Hey, Shinobi. Trying to pronounce that right?
Shinobi. That's it. I don't know. I'm just assuming that's how you pronounce it.
I believe it is.
I apologize if we're not pronouncing it correctly.
Yes.
I think the Japanese doesn't have the eh sound like in English. I think it's Shinobi or something. I don't know.
Shino, yeah.
I'm not sure where the accent is on that word either.
Isn't it Shinobi One Kenobi?
No.
Yeah. Actually, it's Shinobi. Straight through. There's no accent on any part of it.
I seem to remember that when I was in Japan all those years ago with the Peace Corps. I'm watching my wife to see if she's paying attention. She's not.
I am paying attention, but I don't pay attention when you start talking silly.
You're getting good because your eyes didn't even flinch. I was like,
no, I lived with you for 1,000 years.
Yes, I was never in the Peace Corps or in Japan.
You shouldn't joke like that.
Why?
Because there are people who were in both things and might be very proud of that, and you're making kind of fun of it.
I'm not trying to make light of it, and besides, nobody's watching this.
How do you know?
I heard you're big in Japan.
Yeah. I like Japan.
Sorry. I don't know if that was. I don't even know. What does that mean? Is it like a height joke, or is that like
what, Shinobi?
No, big in Japan. I've heard that before.
I thought it just meant you were big in Japan.
I don't know.
Like you were popular there. That's what I thought you meant. Rat was big in Japan. In fact, a lot of American metal bands. What's that, bro? You muffled.
I said most Americans are big in Japan.
Yeah, and in case people think I'm singling out Asian people, it's not that I hate. It's that I have animosity towards all human beings. Well, not all human beings, just all races of humans in general. Humans went to the land of the lost and almost killed off the ancient Altrusians.
Well, maybe it's my upbringing, but I found aliens and foreign species tend to hate men and love our women. So I don't know if that's what you mean when you stumble and you go, no.
Yeah,
like the women, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Shinobi 1 was drawing a woman. I used to say that all humans look alike, and then Shinobi was drawing a human woman one day and on the Thursday night live stream variety show, and I had to change my tune.
Your tone?
No, I had to change my tune about humans all looking alike.
This is true.
Is you a human woman that looks different from what he's seen?
Oh, shit. I gotta tell you, bro, sometimes you know Kenny from South Park?
No.
So we didn't hear a word you just said. What we heard was and I love you, bro, but sometimes I want to know what you just said, so I have to say something, but I'm laughing because it keeps reminding me of Kenny, and I'm like, oh, I hope he just didn't say something, really bad, and like Kenny, they would muffle it.
Yeah, that's how they get around hands on swearing on South Park.
Yeah, well, you'd know what he was saying because you'd hear the syllables. He'd be like, and you'd be like, oh. So what was it you were saying?
No, what I said was that Shinobi drew a human woman that looked different from what Lorenzo was used to, and it confused him.
I'm going to be honest. I just see the beauty in my wife and I get confused.
Oh God, what? You're so. He doesn't mean any of that, you guys. He's only doing that just because he's
corny.
lying.
We know
He
he's
is.
corny. He's going to do that.
And you know the funny thing, it doesn't get him anything, like nothing. It doesn't like after the show. I'm like, oh honey, that was so sweet. I'm looking at him like, stop, just stop.
No, when I want to get the oh sweet, I take the garbage out. I do.
Yeah, he does things around the house. I'm like, oh honey, you took the trash out.
She's all
What's in,
backwards.
like, yeah, I'm not backwards.
All those
Simping ain't
skills
easy.
that men learn.
Simping
What's
ain't
that?
easy. Simping ain't easy.
Simping ain't easy is
Yeah,
right.
it used to be pimping ain't easy, I think. And
Oh, I
now
thought you
it's
said simping. I'm like, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
it,
simp
well,
her.
it is simping now.
Yeah, she won't let me simp right. She's like, stop. I'm like, let me just bestow the beauty. She's like,
Yeah,
get
women,
out of
women
here.
don't like that.
No, because it's fake. It's not like it's not. No,
It's very genuine.
it's not. Look at him. Does he look? Is there anything about this guy that
Look
looks
what Shinobi
genuine at
said
this
in the
moment?
chat.
He swishes his hair back. Really? Ugh. Like,
Yours
stop.
is still a little longer, babe.
You and your hair. Oh my
When
God.
you go to your
midlife-
cousins, go to your cousins
midlife
to get a haircut.
crisis.
Other than that ridiculous grin on his face.
The Chester cat. I've always had a Chester cat grin. It's
Yeah.
got me in so much trouble. You know, you get a parking ticket, you're like,
Thank you, officer. He's like, what are you smiling about, son?
yeah.
It's a
Nothing,
great
I'm-
kid. You think?
I'm nervous. I can't help it.
He smiles when he's nervous. That's
But
so
now
true.
you know what I do? I tell him the truth. I'm
What?
sorry, sir. I have Asperger's. Well, actually, autism, but they changed the name from Asperger's to
It
autism.
gives him the whole historical thing. I'm like, yes, and it was Dr. Asperger's, and then anyways, and then the
Ungerger.
teammate died. Like, oh
But
my
no,
God.
the best way to show someone you're Aspie is to go off on an Aspie rant, and they go, "Okay, I get it. Stop, please, enough."
So
I'm just being honest. That's been effective for me in life.
Mm-hmm.
People say, "I don't think you're Asperger's." I'm like, "Well, let's sit down for a few minutes.
Yeah.
You ask me about something, you'll see."
Oh, just send them my way.
Yep.
Send them to your wife. I will fill them in. Trust me on that.
Well, no, it doesn't take them long. Like all the professionals I work with, they all said the same thing. They doubted it, and then they went, "Oh, you are Aspie shit." Weird.
Yes. You are a little out there.
But I think you know what? I think that's just mankind's, you know, the mental health science department's way of categorizing.
Shinobi, that's so funny.
unique
Men
person.
lie. It's what we do. You're absolutely right. You guys do lie. I'm reading the chat because nobody else is reading.
Nobody's
it.
coming. I'm not seeing the chat, so you have to translate it.
Right. So Shinobi one. When you guys, I think we're talking about his name. He said Shinobi one sounded a lot cooler than Ninja one.
Yes,
And,
it does.
I think he was responding to the whole whatever we were talking about, like stop, Chris, stop saying that.
Men lie. It's what we
Men
do.
lie, yeah. And then what is simping? Simping ain't easy. What is simping? What is
Okay,
that?
so simping refers basically to like a hottie on the internet, and she
Okay.
gets on and she goes, "Okay, if you really like me, I need to get new tires this week. So if you would donate now, oh Joe, $50. You're oh look, Timmy's giving me 150. Timmy, you are a sweetheart. You know that's simping, and the guys really give these people money.
Wait. So there's a pretty girl, and she's like, so my car wouldn't start on Saturday, and I probably have battery, but I don't
There's
have the
guys
money.
on the other side while you're saying that already typing in donate $100 to
Really?
Trixie. The
What do they have, like an
Yeah.
account set up and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's all paid online, just like a super chat.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so crazy. Who's Dennis Leary?
he's a comedian, but I'm not sure. Hang on.
It would explain a lot about Dennis Leary and Larry from Rebel Comics. Somebody simping ain't easy. Somebody get Larry from Rebel Comics in here.
That would explain an awful lot about Dennis Leary. You'll need
Okay.
to explain that one, or somebody here will, because I'm lost.
I have no idea. Anybody know what he's talking about?
I'm sure it's funny.
It is.
See?
So Terry,
Basically,
enlighten me.
it's about how Dennis Leary acts around his girlfriend, or in this case, his wife.
Okay.
So
Simping.
dictionary.com says
What?
Huh?
Did you just say simping.com?
No. Dictionary.com.
Dictionary.com.
Simp is a slang insult
You'll
for
find
men
it-
who are seen as too attentive and submissive to women, especially out of failed hope of winning some entitled sexual attention or activity from them.
That's so wrong.
So you
That's
see, honey, I
wrong.
simp all the time. I always simp for you.
I don't want you to because I'm not giving you any money.
It's the same deal, though. I give you my check every week in hopes.
He does give me his check every week, but I run the household and he doesn't go without anything.
You know what? I was bragging on Twitter
Nothing.
today. They were talking about the hardships we indie creators face. And I say, get your wives to do the business and jump into the fun. That's what's worked for me. My wife handles most of the business. I started a lot of stuff, but she's taken it over predominantly. And it's like wonderful. I just look at her and go, where are the bags? We need bags.
I like how your wife does all the carpentry work.
Yeah.
And
I'm
there's
so
all
tired.
the home
You guys have
repairs.
no idea.
There's a reason for that, and it's because she does not appreciate my
Guys,
my
okay.
ingenious ideas.
Listen, the Chris can draw, I'll give you that, but he cannot hammer, he cannot saw, he cannot use a screwdriver. It is painful to watch. You think I'm painful? He is worse. He's like this, hung out, beep. He missed it. Honey, you gotta hit that nail on the head. Okay, beep.
Well, that's like something that goes along with being on the spectrum too. Is a lot of people who are on the autism spectrum are clumsy, so that could be.
Yes, that's
I
exactly
need to
why.
point out, number one,
Our daughter is the same way.
the
God
hammer.
give
No,
her-
wait, I
she
need to
can't
point out
do-
the hammer was imbalanced. It
Bull.
wasn't my fault.
Like there's
And
something
the
wrong
nail-
with the hammer.
the nail
Like,
head
give me
was
that.
crooked.
Give me that hammer.
And I was the one who fixed the bathroom closet door, and to this day, it still closes by itself.
So
Thank you.
you want to share with your audience how you fixed our bathroom door that wouldn't stay closed? The closet door, by the way. in the
Doorknob on
bathroom.
one side, and I put a bungee cord from the other side where the doorknob used to be to a hook in the wall on the closet. And
He
it
was
worked.
so proud of himself. He goes, honey, look, I fixed the door. And I went, this is great. And I opened the door and I closed it. Then I opened it. I said, how'd you do that? I opened it up. It's a little bungee cord. It's been there for 15 years. I didn't have the heart to change it. I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's perfect. Why would you?
It's his job.
So you
And
like
that's
carry
when I
right there.
knew. That's when I knew. Okay, house repairs is not in his wheel.
I have to tell you guys in all transparency, I did work for my sister doing flooring and a construction company in Massachusetts for about 3 months. And both situations, they told me I really wasn't.
Suited for that. And you know what?
One company told me I was too fastidious.
Yeah, he was supposed to just he was the cleanup guys. He was just supposed to take the big debris pieces out of the way so the actual people doing the carpentry. But Chris went in and not only did he take the big debris, he was in there with the broom. He made it look spick and span while everybody's waiting for him to get out of the way so they could go in and do the rest of the job.
That wasn't
And
no
then
problem.
his
The
sister
problem
told
was when they
me.
got me out there
So
picking
his
nails
sister
efficiently, and I didn't
was-
know they had a big magnet rake.
He's picking them up hand by hand. Like,
Yeah,
oh my
well,
God.
you're obsessed with the fine details.
Yes. And then his sister told me I went to help them when I moved to Florida. I went to help them with tacking carpet and stuff like that. And they would set Chris up in a room and they'd set me up in a room and we'd be working. And it's just like, putting tack down, hammer tack along the edge. I'd get done and I'd be looking for my husband. He's still sitting there tacking away. His sister comes over. She's like, oh my God, Diana, you're hired. He's not. He's like, she goes, you tack better than my brother and he's got more experience. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I moved
It
right along.
was because of defective tack. That was
Oh
I had
my
it. My
God.
tack was crooked.
You blamed your knees that time. You blamed
Oh
your
yeah,
knees.
my knees were hurting.
Yeah. So we know that Chris is not a physical guy in that sense. And my family, we all know it. We just
And I'm
live with
not
it.
okay. So I'm not even mechanical. I remember the one time I tried to change a serpentine belt in my Ford Probe,
Oh my
and I
God.
ended up having to call a tow truck to get it down to a garage so they could put the serpentine belt back on.
Mm-hmm. So he doesn't touch my car. Even when the car wouldn't start on Saturday, he comes in, your car won't start. Yes, Shinobi, that's exactly right. Some people can do brain surgery, but they can't use a hammer. I'm kind of teasing him a little bit, but he can do things that I can't do. So
Yeah.
we work nicely together. Like he does all my computer and tech work, and I do all the other stuff.
Literally.
Literally. But I'm okay with that. I signed up for it. I'm okay. I'm like, I don't complain.
Well, in a way, I will tell you guys and gals, when you're in a great marriage, not only do you love the person you're with, but you feel the love. So like her support means a lot, like it enables me to be a lot of the person that I am. We've discussed things like how we're going to move forward in the future with Hero Shack.
Mm-hmm.
And her confidence is something that gets me through. When she looks and goes, wow, that's really good. This is really awesome. And when she means it.
I do mean it. What do you mean when I mean it?
There are times when I'll throw something in your face and you'll tell me, oh, yeah, that's great, honey. And I know I've been watching your pupils. They're still looking to the right. They never look to the left where the artwork was. And I'm like, that's okay. She's busy right now. Then I get you later when you're looking at a book and you're like, I've never seen this page. And I'm like, oh, okay, honey, this is it. And then you give it full attention. So that's good. But with my art roughs, I try to run them by her to some extent. And it doesn't always work out. Like the page where the girl is flipping over the breakfast table
He's
there.
got no reference point for me. He's like, so what do you think they're doing? And it's black and white scribble work. It's like rough sketches. I'm like, well, she looks like she's jumping and I think flipping, but I'm not really sure. Is that the same? He wants me to tell the whole story. I'm like, that's not fair.
No, I don't want her to tell the story. I want she does what I ask her to. I say, tell me what you see. And
Yes, and
sometimes
that's
it's way off. But if she
Yeah.
looks and gets the general idea, then I know the storytelling is working. She might not know the names or why they're doing what they're doing. But she says, I can tell this guy's doing something over here. Well, you can't read what he's doing, but yes, you can tell he's doing something. So that's good. And I can tell she's responding and pointing there. Okay. So it's working, I think she says that because sometimes she'll give me a whole scenario. Well, obviously she's upset because the dishwasher's not working. And look over here, he's kind of laughing about it. And you're like, well, she knows that she was pointing. She's just wrong about what she was pointing to. And she knows there's an emotional interaction there. That's all that I need to know that the reader sees. Because once the words are in there, you'll know exactly what's going on. Right?
Right.
If it's written well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call myself anymore. I get in situations where I'm like, I really think I'm just a cartoonist. But to me, a cartoonist is somebody who writes, draws, colors, and letters their own work. Like I think of a cartoonist as the old school guys who were rushing out on newspaper stuff, and doing. They had teams, but there was a time when it was just one guy cranking it out. And I don't know how to say. I hate the whole tagline of, well, I do everything. I write, I draw, I letter, because it's not like that. It's a different thing. Like if you have a team, you expect certain things out of each individual. Where when it's one guy, it's a different thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It becomes something different. And I see that in other creators, Savage Dragon, things like that, where you look and it's basically one guy and has been forever. And even they will use other people. We're just not big enough to hire anybody yet.
No, the thing is, the thing about Eric Larson is he's been doing all the work on Savage Dragon because he has this vision of how the story is supposed to flow, and he's the only one that understands that vision.
I've heard it's been kind of in a very bizarre direction lately, but
Yeah, but the thing is, well, the entire book is bizarre to begin with. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe like a politically correct direction or something. But I guess but hasn't he been that way for a while now?
Well, I know he's like considered left wing, and I mean the thing about
Yeah.
it is, so what? You know, as long thing is when it goes into their comics, if you're a reader and you don't like that, then you're screwed.
Yeah, I think that's what he was accused
Right.
of doing. And it sounds like it's kind of a bit adult oriented too. But
Yeah,
can't remember the details. I remember a
Yeah.
reviewer talking about it not too long ago. I don't know if it's every issue is that way, or if it's just one particular issue every once in a while.
Yeah. The thing is, I haven't ever really been into Savage Dragon, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, neither have I. But yeah, it definitely is a unique series from what I've seen. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you're saying.
No, Larson's one of those guys who lets the outside world kind of influence what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose it could happen to anybody, and in his case, he needs to make money. He's in California with Image, right? Actually, I don't know where he is, but I suppose when you're working for a company like that, it's different. That's why I really love being independent. Like nobody can tell me.
Well, if you're doing anything for Image Comics, you're basically working for yourself.
Yeah, it's a different structure than Marvel and DC for sure, but they're laying off people. So it's an interesting time where you get all these professionals. They're either having to go into advertising, graphic arts, or independent comic book publishing. And it should be interesting to see how many of them can pull it off, because I think one of the things that hurt the modern comic is the fact that a lot of people were just doing it as a job. And if you don't love a comic, if your heart isn't the passion for that, it hurts it. It really hurts the product. And they can say otherwise. Maybe there are some talents who can hate comics and do wonderful because they're just that darn talented. But for the most part, I think even legends, you could tell when John Byrne wasn't invested in a story. You could tell when Jack Kirby was crapping out for a deadline. You didn't care if it was a legend, but you could tell, this was a little off his mark. You can tell even more when the person just doesn't give a shit.
True.
And they're just crapping out work to get the paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to have to get like that, though.
No, I never will. But I'm saying, so I blame it on art colleges. So art colleges are in charge of charging exorbitant amounts on the kids to teach them what they're going to learn on their own anyways. In most cases, there are techniques, there are skills, but for the most part, like when we went to our daughter's graduation, didn't they have, what was that woman, a veterinarian?
Yeah.
Who graduated from the art college, and I'm not going to say the name out of respect,
Mm-hmm.
but they're valedictorian or whatever the person is, the person who gave that little speech they give when you.
Yeah, it was one of the guest speakers, the main speaker. I forget the college.
She was the big guest speaker. Don't say the college name.
I won't, but she she graduated with a degree in art.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I forget what it was. And
she was highly esteemed within the school.
Right, very talented.
She had actually become a veterinarian, right?
No, she wasn't even a veterinarian. She was a vet tech.
Okay.
She worked in a vet, like for animals.
So
she wasn't even practicing in the field.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, of course not.
As an artist, a professional graduated artist, it was less than ideal, we shall say. And the tone I got off of it was just go out and make money however you can. And I get that starving artists need to work too. But in this generation, there is
I know there was nothing wrong with what she was doing, but you are giving a message of encouragement and hope to all these young graduates who are just coming out of a $65,000 college with like bachelor's degrees and whatever, and you have a tech from of that. work
Yeah,
with
it's not like
animals.
you have an artist from Disney who graduated, 8 years
It
ago.
just
and
didn't.
says,
It was
"This
just
is what
very
I've been
different.
doing," or yeah,
It was
it was
different.
surprising. It was
It
surprising.
was. I was very. I didn't. Yeah, I was very sad.
I'm trying to be diplomatic with it, but yeah. So, but my whole point was these kids are coming out of college, and their only goal is to find a way to make their little talented hand bring in food up for the table. And I get
Right.
that, but if you don't love comics, it just doesn't work. There's
Yeah.
something about comics.
Exactly.
There's a reason why crappy artists still make great comics, and that's because they love it, and you can feel it off their art.
Mhm.
Jack Kirby, I always go back to because if you took him into a serious art criticism arena, odds are the person would tear him apart. Fine art was not his thing when he was in Marvel. He had some great fine art before that. It's weird, but his style became blocky and it was over exaggerated and full of motion that was technically impossible. But he would make a panel just thrive by the way he would twist a body up. And no matter what you think about the actual techniques, he was drawing art of a whole different level. Even though it was ugly sometimes. And as a kid, I used to hate Jack Kirby. As an adult, I love him because I'm like, look at what he was pulling off. This is incredible. It looks so good. But as a kid, I wanted to see something more like Neil Adams, John Byrne, John Buscema. There were artists that that's who I thought was the artist, I don't know. Honey, you've been reading a book about comics. What do you think of it?
I know. I haven't gotten too much into it, but I'm only like in the first probably 20 pages. But it's really cool how he is breaking down the art of comics for
Yep.
somebody like myself. So I haven't really read it in a couple of nights now because I've just been tired and other stuff is happening. But I'm enjoying it, and I cannot remember the name of the book. Isn't that awful? It's sitting on my nightstand. I've been trying to think of it.
I could go
But-
get it, but I'm lazy.
No, and it's 9:13, and I have to go. I went past 9, guys. This was pretty good, huh? I was
Yeah, it
trying to
was.
be
It
like,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's 9:13. I stayed up. Here's the true confession time. I stayed up till midnight last night, and I pulled out all the Christmas stuff because I am a huge Christmas person. And so I said, that's it. It's December 1st. They got to come out. So I started decorating, and I didn't get to bed till midnight. And I was up at 6, and I had a super busy day at work. Like it's been nonstop. I've been on my computer all day. So I am ready to retire. So that is what I'm going to do. But it was awesome seeing you, Terry and Lorenzo. And I don't know, where did Chris? Chris, are you there? Christopher.
What?
I'm leaving. You can't leave these guys hanging. My God.
I'm leaving too. No, honestly, we need to close it down anyways because we still work in the morning. There's still a lot of stuff I have to draw and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But love you guys, and if you're out there watching, we probably love you. We don't know who you are, but we love you as a human being. We hope you're well. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We hope that you get into comics. If not ours, someone's. You know that old commercial? If you don't get help from us, get help somewhere. If you don't get comics from us, get comics somewhere.
Yeah.
Because really, we need, we're not going to save the industry, but we can try to be a little burning fire of comic book goodness in this world of insanity. 2020 hasn't beaten us yet.
This is true. So, guys, God bless you. Have an amazing week, and I will see you all next Wednesday. I'm going to go to bed.